Hi.
Hello, welcome home, beautiful.
Welcome, welcome. So we are so happy, Dr. Conti and I are so happy to have you back with Dating Differently with Demi and Dr. Conti. And we're going to jump right into it. Last week, we talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly of online dating. And tonight, we're going to talk about it's not too late. Tonight's conversation is for anyone who's ever thought, maybe it's not in the cards for me because I know I felt that way after over 20 years of being married and then getting divorced. Or maybe finding love will never happen, especially when you've done the online dating or dated some and it didn't work out. And there's so much more pressure for women than there really are for men. And I would say it's, people are really judgmental, Conti, really judgmental. And I'm just going to step on a few toes because I know women can also be mean spirited about it. They can check all those boxes like you do, Conti, get all those boxes checked. But then they think, you know what? She doesn't have a man. So what's wrong with her? And even our family and friends can feed into it, meaning, they say things like, you haven't found someone yet. So let's really talk about that. And we've combined our expertise to create a strategic roadmap that helps you first prepare for healthy love so that you can confidently choose with clarity and sustain the right relationship. And so, Dr. Conti, have you ever felt like that?
Well, you know what? I am the hopeless romantic, and I have always felt like, it's out there. Now, have I felt tired? Absolutely. And this is one of those conversations that hit deep for a lot of people because many people are quietly giving up on love. It's not because they don't want it, and it's not because they don't feel like they can have it. It's because they're tired. Like I have been at times, tired of the disappointment, tired of choosing the wrong person. I've heard women say, "Girl, I'm not doing it no more. My picker is broke." So just tired of starting over. But let me say this clearly, it is not too late. You just need to have a different approach. And that's what I've learned. That's what I've taught clients. That's what we teach. You just need to have a different approach. But you know that our demographics, that our empty nesters, our divorcees, I'm sure there are other reasons that they can relate to too that make them want to just say it's too late, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I know for me, in my situation, I decided to date differently. You know, when you decide that you don't need anyone to complete you and you're looking for someone to really compliment you and know that it's okay if you never find that person to compliment you, that's when it all falls into place. Um, you said a different approach. We talked last week about the online dating, right? And I know um, there are men, when I'm saying men because I look at theirs, right? When they throw out that larger net, saying they're looking for friendship, they're looking for something casual, they're looking for long term. It's like casting out a bigger net because looking for more clicks or for more matches, that's a good chance that's not genuine. And so again, we've kind of fell into that trap a lot of times and fallen into situationships. Um, but I would say again, you really never want to give up on it and finding that person that compliments you. Um, if I'm looking, and the thing that helped me during that time when I got tired, or I guess kind of like you said, like, just forget about it. I just thought to myself, if I'm out here looking, there must be someone else that's just like me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number out there um, for you, but you have to be comfortable in order to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would have never gotten to 22 if I didn't move on from 21.
That part.
You know, and I would say, and I know he's watching, he's so super supportive, so I'm gonna call him 22. 22 told me that I was number 5. So we joke with each other. He said, "Okay, number 5," and I just say, "Okay, number 22." So, can you tell us about that thought process behind that, Conti?
Absolutely. So what happens is, like I said, people get tired, but they want it. So we lose hope because of more than one reason, but not because love is impossible. We lose hope because our patterns haven't changed. When we say date differently, a lot of times I always encourage my clients, and I had to do it too, Demi. You and I have talked about it, is to look at our own patterns. And we have a propensity to move the same way, whether that is moving too fast emotionally, whether that is ignoring red flags and hoping they'll change, and instead of paying attention to it, and like you said, moving on from number 21 so that you can get to number 22, or just falling for the potential instead of really watching the patterns that you're seeing. So these are kind of what we do as women who are just ready for love, but sometimes we're over giving too soon. Time, whether that's time, whether that's access, whether that's energy, before it's earned. So not having clear standards and boundaries, which we've talked about before, it doesn't mean that love is not out there. It just means sometimes our patterns have to change. And this is why it can feel like it's too late, because I've had this one after this one after this one, and they're all still the same, or everything is still the same. It's not that everything is still the same. It's sometimes we're repeating the same thing that's not working, you know? And I'm sure you've had friends and golfing ladies, Demi, that said, I'm just tired because everything I've tried is not working. I'm just burnt out, right?
Yeah, and I know when you said you've had this one, I know what you're saying is you're meeting the same type of people or running into the same type of people, and I'm going to go back to looking for someone to really compliment you and not complete you. And when you talk about doing different things, you know, uh, my daughter has been an inspiration to me, inspiration. And one of the things I hear her say is when we talk about moving different, we all know that, and we're talking about dating differently. She'll say, "Mom, I'm going to a concert." Um, and I'll say, "You know what? Well, who are you going with?" And she's like, "I'm going by myself." You know, whether it's in another country or right down the street. I was in another city last week and I looked around at this new hot spot and I saw a lot of women, a generation before ours, that they were dressed up and hanging out, eating by themselves, eating with friends, but decided they wanted to go out to a nice restaurant that night. And so they just went. And so it really is about when you make a decision that you are the complete package.
Hmm. Hmm.
You are looking for someone to compliment you.
Hmm.
You find a hobby. For me, I found golf. I love it.
Hmm.
Find things to do. Continue to do things with friends. Travel alone. And
Hmm.
say there is when you look at yourself differently and think differently, people see you differently. So you're
Hmm.
talking about what we attract. You will see because they see you differently, you will attract a different type of person.
That's right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you'll attract a different type of person. So break it down for us.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. I love that. And I love the fact that you said you saw people doing things different and women getting out there. Here I go talking about that be the cake again. When you are the cake, you don't mind going and listening to some jazz or some live music in a safe place by yourself. I actually did that not too long ago and happened to see one of my old church members who had moved away and had moved back to Houston. I didn't even know she was in town, but had a great time and left there feeling good. Who knows? I could have met number, I guess I'm on 8.
You got to say the number. And
I got to go back and count. I got to go back and count.
You got to say the number. And the number is not the people you just text and talk to. So
Right.
I want to say that if you're looking at your online, the number is the number of meet and greets that you go on. It's not the number of people that you're in relationships in. Everybody has a number, and we just don't know what that number is. You know, in sales, and I just try to relate it to something that people know. When we're in sales and you're having to knock on doors or make those phone calls to get that sale, we all know you might have to make 20 calls to get that one sale, or 100 calls to get that one sale, depending on the bigger the purse, right? So if you're selling something for $5, of course, you're going to knock on a lot less doors than if it was $20 or $100. But think about the value. What is it that we're really looking for? We're looking at someone that is going to compliment us, to be a love of our lives, right? That purse is pretty big. And so you may have to go through more numbers, not knocking on the doors, but just more meet and greets, more telephone conversations. And when you really look at it like that, we don't know, all of us don't know what our number is. But again, being also okay if we never reach it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me hop in there. I know you had a point. I didn't want
No, that's okay. And that's what that being the cake is. Knowing that I am enjoying. We've all heard a long time ago, look, you find it when you're not looking. And I think what that means is when you're just happy alone. When you're happy alone, when it comes and it's something that's an icing on the cake, not something that you're just out there desperately looking for. But you also don't want to fall into the trap of, well, it's too late, so I don't have to have it. I think, like I said, I think people still want it. It's just a lot of times they don't want to go through, like you said, the work to get it, and you're worried about your vulnerabilities, and you're worried about attachment, maybe still attachment to some of the pain before. This is going to turn out the way it used to turn out. So we definitely want to make sure that we talk about it all the time. It's getting that healing in and go for it. It is not too late. Somebody, like you said, is waiting for you, just like you're waiting for somebody else. And so time is not an issue. It's really more about strategy. And so what's your strategy? You don't need more time. You just need better discernment. And that's just how I look at it. It's about a strategy and changing your strategy and changing your patterns and knowing exactly what it is that you want, how you want to go after it, not being in a rush, happy going out alone, happy going out with your girlfriends, and happy getting online and saying, hey to some people and maybe doing some meet and greets, and just giving yourself the permission to date again, giving yourself the permission to get out there. And it's not a rush, and stop rushing into things with emotional attachment. And when you're feeling that way, when you slow it down and you start betting, that's what you're doing. You are dating differently now. And it's not a feeling like I got to rush, because it's definitely not too late. Right? You start to date smarter and use discernment. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. I mean, it does. Sometimes it feels like the dating pool is smaller. It definitely feels that way than when we were in our 20s, right? Or 30s. And then for some of us, we feel like the dating pool is even smaller than others. But it's kind of like you said, you just always remember that you're really, really special. And I'm telling all of you all, you are really, really special. And there is someone that is waiting just for you. And if you get stuck, on number 17, never gonna get to 20 to 18. And so the faster you move away from something, I was talking to someone about sometimes, I know we've talked about this, explaining yourself or feeling like you have to um, help someone understand why you're a good match or why you're not a good match. They You're not in a relationship. They don't deserve that. Um, it's just nice meeting you. Good luck.
Toodaloodles.
I don't know. You know how I do it, Lou. It's
Kick rocks.
well, that is sometime it is kick rocks. Sometime it is. So I know I was going to share about paying attention to profiles and communications and patterns. And we talked about the good, bad, and ugly about the online dating. And I kind of mentioned it at the beginning of it. So there are some people that throw out this huge net, right? The bigger the net, the more fish they're going to catch. And so, again, if you're looking for a long term relationship, some people will put out, well, looking for friendship and looking for long term. And some of us, those of us that don't know any better, we think, well, this is perfect. I want to be his friend first. I want to be her friend first. We're building a relationship based on friendship. But when it says that, they're just looking for more clicks, they're just looking for more matches. When you're online, if it just doesn't say long term and you're looking for long term, then you don't want to match with them. Just go right past it. So that's my tip of the night. If you're looking for casual, then you just want to click on those that have casual. You don't want to click on somebody that says long term. If you're looking for a friendship, then click on someone that says friendship. But no, if they just click everything friendship, casual, long term, they just put all of it on there, that just means they're looking to just cast that bigger net to bring in more fish. You don't want to be one of those. So that's my online tip of the evening. Yeah.
And dating, sometimes women say, well, I'm healed, or I'm not sure if I'm healed, or I'm not sure if I'm ready. I think a lot of times, I think you're healed. I think a lot of times you're ready, but you're afraid. And so just dating wisely, because sometimes some stuff you're not going to heal from until you get with someone who has that masculinity, who's going to love you unconditionally and going to show you that it's okay to be just like you are, whoever you are. So sometimes it's, you have to get out there and get past that. It's not too late, or I'm not healed, or I need to heal. Definitely, many of us probably were healed. You just was afraid to keep going and get out there. So if you're paying attention to your triggers, and if you're not projecting your past on new people anymore, and if you're willing to pause instead of react, then you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay getting out there and enjoying and dating, and then healing as you go. As long as you're not, as we say, bleeding on someone that didn't cut you. we don't want that. We want to make sure that you're not just dating without awareness, and bringing old wounds to new connections. But other than that, instead of saying, I'm not ready, I encourage you to say, I am aware enough to date, but this time date differently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love how you said that. And I totally agree with the healing when you're with someone who truly loves you and you love them in a healthy relationship. That absolutely happens. I'm a witness of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to say this. I didn't say this, but because healing doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you are conscious of your patterns now, and that you committed to not repeating them. It doesn't mean you're perfect. You can heal while you date. you just don't want to, like I said, bleed on other people. Demi, this is where people kind of have to be intentional themselves. We're looking for intention, but this is where we have to be intentional ourselves, because how they show up while healing is what matters.
I like that word, intentionality. I like it. I remember making that decision to do that, to really be intentional. You just look at things differently. You hear things differently. You take a break when you want to take a break. You don't feel pressured, like you said. You telling all your friends, we always say, tell your friends, get on the website, or I'm saying website, get on the dating sites, and just enjoy life. I will go back to, that is what I decided to do, to just enjoy my life. I think one of the things I remember I was told was, do you even have time for me? And that was just interesting to me. That was very, very interesting.
Yes. And it's okay to have busy schedules. We should have busy schedules and busy lives. Sometimes we only see each other between our schedules right here. Yeah.
So I know, Conti, you say we always have questions. Did we have any questions that came in this week?
Yes, we did. So actually, we had several questions like, when you're ready, is it okay to just start dating more than one person? And of course, our answer to that is absolutely, because you're just gathering information. That's a new thing too. And dating differently is a part of that, and understanding that you're just gathering information. But I have a question for the audience, and for those who are listening now and those who may be listening later. Have you ever felt like it was too late for you? And what made you feel that way? If you've ever felt like it was too late for you, what made you feel that way?
And while they're responding, I always like to jump in behind the dating numerous people or multiple people. The word date, seems to say to someone that you're in this relationship. And that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, I can go to the movies or go to dinner with one person today, and on Saturday, I can go take a walk with someone else that I've met. So we're not talking about that we're in this relationship. So I do want to just clarify that.
Yep. Absolutely. Not in a relationship at all. We are not. We're just dating smarter and using discernment, right, Demi?
Right. And I would say getting to know more than one person at the same time, until you know them enough to say, I'm not looking for a friend. I know I had someone that we went on, we talked on the phone within the week, we met and had dinner. And at the end of the dinner, we gave each other a fist bump. I mean, it was cool dude, but I'm not looking for friends.
You got friends.
Right. I don't want any male friend, I don't want male friends. I wasn't looking for a male friend. And so for me, it was, I'm not looking for a friend. So, hey, that was okay. And we literally gave each other a fist bump.
No hard feelings over here.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, no hard feelings.
Yeah.
If you feel like that, if you felt like it's too late for whatever reason, let us know in the chat. Let us know why you felt like that. But I hope that you really realize it is definitely not too late. You're not behind, because a lot of times we feel like, oh, we're just behind. You're not behind. it's just and sometimes timing is everything.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that when people always ask me, how is it that you're single? Even men, a lot, women and men. How is it that you're single? You've got, like you said, Demi, you check all the boxes. Well, my thing is, it's always been, it's what it seems like it's the right person, wrong time, or right situation, wrong person, or right time, wrong situation. You see, it was just never aligned. And now, I mean, I have taught so many that if it's not aligned, because that's something that's not aligned. There's a missing piece there somewhere. And when that's the case, you have to just be okay with waiting for the right thing, that's the right person, the right time, and the right situation. You're number 22. You have to be okay with waiting for that. You're not behind. I don't want you to feel that you're behind. It's just that it's time probably to watch your patterns, change your patterns, and date differently. If this conversation has spoken to you in any kind of way, we got a lot of information over here. I see some comments. Thank you so much. If it's spoken to you any kind of way, be sure to make sure that you join our Dating Differently Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube page, and follow both of us on our social media platforms for more and more and more of this great information. And then make sure that you tell your friends, and make sure that you set your timers. Be here every Wednesday night. Wasn't this good? This is good stuff. You don't want to miss it. Every Wednesday night at 7:30.
Absolutely not. And join us next week as we continue giving strategies to date with clarity, move with intention, choose with confidence. And we look forward to continuing to help you love intentionally
Heal completely
and date
date differently.